Sean from Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio. Welcome back to another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Okay, we're on the Frigidaire electric dryer. Complaint is that it won't heat, and then the unit will shut off and blink some lights after a few minutes. So we're just going to turn it on, set it up in a normal run, and see what happens. So we'll go ahead and do that now. We're just going to let it run and see when it fails and see exactly what it's doing. And as we can see right now in the display right here, it used to have a numerical reading for the time, and now it's kind of just racing around. We're going to let the dryer run a few more minutes and just see if it continues to happen or if it just goes away. Okay, the dryer hasn't changed the state. It's still those chasing lights. I'm going to open it up just to verify whether or not there is not any heat. And then I'm going to put it into a service mode just so I can see if I can find any errors that the unit has stored. So we'll go ahead and open the door now. There's no heat at all. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. And I'm going to go ahead and put it into a service mode. We want to enter the service field mode. So to do so, hold down select and cancel together at the same time for 6 seconds. It should then beep once. Once it does, we're going to rotate the 1, 2 counterclockwise. Hold down the buttons again for 6 seconds. It should beep 3 times. And it's saying it's in the field service mode and telling us it's our software version. We now want to rotate the knob again counterclockwise twice. E56. It's telling us our error codes that we have. And basically that's saying that error is a heater fault, that the temperature hasn't changed in a certain amount of time. So at this point here, what we'll do is we'll access the machine to go ahead and test the heating element and see what is bad or not bad. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to access the machine. In order to do so, we have to take the top off. There are 2 screws on the back that we'll take off first. Alright, and with those screws out, now we can slide the top panel back and off the unit. I forgot if I mentioned or not, but we did already unplug the unit, so there's no chance of shock. Now with this open, what we can do, there's wiring harnesses here that we'll have to disconnect. I'm going to go ahead and just disconnect those now. They'll just pull right off. They're keyed in different sizes, so you can't mix those up. There's a zip tie that we're going to have to cut right here for our wiring. So I'm going to grab my side cutters here and just cut that zip tie. And it's the only zip tie here, so there's nothing that you can get mixed up with. So we can remove that, get that out of the way. Now there are some screws that are going to go straight down through the top that we're going to have to remove so we can take our control panel off. So I'm going to go over there and do that. And you'll see there are actually 4 screws on here. The only ones that we need to worry about are going to be the outside screws. 2 outside on each end. So with that goes out, we can then lift it straight up. The other 2 just hold the cosmetic piece onto the metal frame here. So that's why we don't need to worry about those. We're only worried about the outside screws. We see we still have a harness here for our door switch. We're going to unplug that, and now we can remove our console out of the way. Alright, so we're going to need to remove the screws to get this front panel off. We have a screw here, some screws inside the door, and then 2 at the bottom. I start at the bottom so that way it can just hang from the screws up top and the panel doesn't want to come off. So to make it easier, I'll just tilt it up slightly. And get to my screws. So we got the 2 out of the bottom. Now I'm going to open up the door, remove the 2 from inside. And the only 2 that you're going to see on the front panel, you just go right into our blower housing. Shut the door, makes it a little bit easier to handle the door. It's more evenly, the weight's more evenly proportioned. So we have our 2 screws up to the top and this black wire that goes to our door switch. So I'm going to slide the black wire off and remove our 2 screws. And I'm just going to kind of hold the panel just in place, just in case it were to start to come off. So I'm actually pressing against it with my left hand so it doesn't happen to accidentally fall down and you know, become damaged. Now we can remove the door. Easier said than done. The locking tabs. Alright, basically they just have locking tabs inside of here, and sometimes they lock better than other times. But there's nothing to it, you just kind of got to lift up and pull. It sounds much more violent than it is. Okay, this is where our heating element is located there. What I've done is I removed one of the terminals from the heating element, and I used my volt ohm meter to check the resistance and found out that the heating element is open. What we'll do at this point is get a customer estimate to replace the heating element, and we'll go from there. Okay, we have our meter leads hooked up to the heating element, and as you can see on the meter here, it says OL, basically for an open circuit. So that's how we know that the heating element is bad. Thank you for watching another quality in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.